to Bad Movie Beatdown. You know what I haven't done for a while? A horror movie. So let's rectify that with The Unborn. The Unborn is certainly a rarity in that it's a Jewish horror film. It's written and directed by David S. Goyer, who the publicity is keen to stress wrote Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Well, he did, but he's not Christopher Nolan in the directing department. Then again, it's a step up from writing Kickboxer 2, I suppose. And guess who's producing? Michael Bay, of course, from his Platinum Dunes production company that wants to remake every single major horror franchise. The Unborn is one of their few original productions, although I hate to say that because they borrow so much that it might as well be a remake. Also, this is the unrated version I'm reviewing. Not that I expect you to notice because there's only a minute's difference between them. So our film takes place in Chicago with Casey Belden, played by Odette Yustin, jogging. Evidently Megan Fox was not available. She comes across a blue glove whilst running. She picks it up to see a ghostly boy mysteriously appear behind her with only one glove. Symbolism! The boy then turns into a dog with a mask on its face. Ooh, scary. The dog then wanders into the trees. Casey follows, but it has disappeared, leaving only the mask. It's snagged on something, so she tries to dig it up. She ends up unearthing a fetus. Jump scare! You see, I can do it too, it's not hard. It turns out this was a dream, as we awkwardly cut to the next scene.
So what do you think the dream means?
That your vagina is completely disease-infested?
Shut up, for real.
They've only spoken 3 lines and I hate them both.
Okay, babies. Babies are symbolic of change and renewal. If the baby is a stranger to you, it may represent something developing within yourself that is not yet ready to be born.
Symbolism!
Okay, what about dogs?
Okay. In mythology, the dog was often seen as a messenger of the dead.
I'm already overdoing it. Casey is babysitting when she hears a disturbance downstairs. Don't worry, Casey, take your time. We need a foreboding camera angle. When she finally gets her ass upstairs, one of the kids, Matthew, no relation to me, starts acting strangely, shining a mirror into his baby sister's face.
Jumby wants to be born now.
Jumby? Who's Jumby? And why should I be afraid of anything called Jumby?
You sure you're alright?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
It's good that a mirror to the face only gave her a cosmetically friendly cut as opposed to a massive bleeding gash. As she walks back to her house, she picks up a glove just like the one in her dream. What could it possibly mean? Gee, I wonder if those panties are tight enough. Don't worry, Odette will be spending plenty of time in her tiny, tiny underwear, as you can tell by the DVD box. And of course, every scene has to have a scare in it, so Casey hears something and checks her mirror to find it normal. But we know it has evil things inside it later. So we get a fairly mundane scene of her making breakfast when, oh wait, jump scare. Could you tone it down with the jump scares, please? 10 minutes in and already I've got a massive headache. Oh, and just in case things are too subtle, Matty stares at her on the driveway.
He was shining a mirror in the baby's face, and then he hit me.
It's bad luck, you know. Newborns aren't supposed to see their own reflection until they're at least a year old. It means they'll die soon.
Thank you, Miss Exposition. Got any more clunky dialogue to tell us? Oh, and Casey's boyfriend Mark is there.
According to whom?
It's just one of those superstitions, you know?
You're retarded. She's retarded.
Apparently, David S. Goyer went to the Eli Roth School of Writing. Things get stranger when Casey starts hallucinating in class. Enough with the scares! Set up the characters and the situations before you start throwing the scary shit at us, otherwise it's inherently meaningless. We then get a shower scene so we can ogle Odette Yustman again, and flashback to earlier in the movie. Yes, we're flashbacking to things 10 minutes ago. Obviously this movie is aimed at goldfish. She notices that one of her irises has changed colour. The doctor explains that this can occur after blunt trauma, or it can be due to really obvious contact lenses too. Time for sex. As a bit of post-coitus discussion, Casey and Mark discuss whether or not there is an afterlife, so that Casey can explain that her mother, played by Carla Gugino in a completely worthless part, went a bit mad when she was a child before dying. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think death and the afterlife is a good discussion for pillow talk. I tend to find it kills the mood. Anyway, it's too long between jump scares, so it's time to revisit the bathroom mirror. The film even pushes the limits of the PG-13 rating thanks to some camel toe. Stop buying underwear 2 sizes too small! This scare relies on the rule of 3. You do something twice, it's normal. This is the second time, so it's normal. But she has to peek a third time, and that's when you get the jump scare. Casey gets rid of her bathroom mirror before going out on her run. Look, it's just like her dream, except not. She discovers that Mattie's baby sister has died, proving the superstition correct. After running some tests, the doctor tells Casey that her eye may be due to the fact that she is a twin, except she's an only child. She goes to confront her father to see if he has been hiding anything.
Am I a twin, Dad?
Yes, you would have had a brother. It was a freak thing. One of the umbilical cords got twisted around his throat.
Did he have a name?
Neither of you did yet. We had nicknames for you, though.
What was his nickname?
Jumbie.
If that's what you named him in the womb, thank God he didn't live long enough to actually get a name. I mean, seriously, Jumbie? It doesn't exactly strike fear into the hearts of men now, does it? Look out! Here's Jumbie! Stop laughing! He's coming! Looking through her mother's things, she finds a reel of film, as well as an article about Holocaust survivor Sophie, played by Jane Alexander, whom she goes to visit with her friend Romy, played by Megan Good. Romy seems to be competing for the coveted Most Annoying Person in the Movie award.
God, it smells like diarrhea there. Look at the Munchkin lady.
Please shut up and die already. Casey tries to ask Sophie about a picture of her mother she found with a ghostly boy in the background, but she freaks out.
What the hell was that? 1 second she's fine and then she has a bitch flip. She's crazy. She probably has Old-timers.
Old-timers? You're not just annoying, are you? You're tremendously stupid to boot. Casey decides to look at the film strip, which happens to be some creepy shots of the mental hospital Casey's mother went to. Of course, her boyfriend is there, so nothing happens. I'll give you 3 guesses to work out what happens later, but you're only going to need 1. Mark takes Casey to a club to relax. Obviously this is the time for more jump scares as Casey starts hallucinating and has to go to the toilet. If you were hallucinating and hearing weird noises, would you peek through a hole in the shape of an eye, the doorway to the soul? Of course Casey does, because she's an idiot. And so lots of Jerusalem crickets start bursting out everywhere, things pop out of the walls, and her mother shows up for some reason. But it turns out she was just imagining it. Okay, I'll admit it, that was a well done scene. It was nice and creepy, which is certainly better than I can say for the rest of this movie.
I saw her.
Who?
My mother.
You were drinking. You were buzzed.
What if I end up like she did?
Have you talked to your dad about it?
He's out of town.
And this will be the last time he'll ever be mentioned. All together now. Bye! Romy tells Casey to sleep with an open pair of scissors under her pillow to ward off evil spirits. However, this turns out to be completely pointless because she has a dream where she watches Jumbie rip her stomach open. Symbolism! Sophie rings up and wishes to tell all, confessing that Casey's mother did in fact come to see her because she is Casey's grandmother. Sophie explains that the boy is her twin Barto, who were put into secret Nazi experiments at Auschwitz. Because when you need to add substance to your shitty movie, just add Nazis. The Nazis were obsessed with eye colour, trying to change them to blue. This explains why everything is blue, blue, and more blue. I haven't seen so much heavy-handed colour symbolism since I Know Who Killed Me. Barto died as part of the experiments, but something evil possessed him.
Have you ever heard of a Dybbuk? It is the soul of a dead person that has been barred from entering heaven. So it endlessly wanders the borderlands between the worlds, trying to find a new body.
Some people are doorways.
Especially twins, because what is a twin but another kind of mirror?
Symbolism! Sophie killed Barto to stop the Dybbuk, and now it's trying to look for a way to get back ever since. Sophie tells her that there is a book of mirrors with exorcism rites, and that she should seek out a rabbi called Joseph Sendak. She gets the book and finds Sendak, played by Gary Oldman. Clearly David S. Goyer called in a favour for him to appear in this crap.
Can you read this?
Well, the right-hand text is Hebrew, so I can. It's from the Kabbalah. Jewish mysticism.
Gary, you're reading it the wrong way. Always read right to left.
I know that this is gonna sound crazy. Leave me. I need an exorcism performed. I'm being haunted by something.
Warning someone that something sounds crazy doesn't exactly aid your case, if you know what I'm saying. Sendak is apprehensive, claiming that Dybbuks don't exist, that he doesn't know how to do an exorcism, and that Casey has to believe in Judaism for it to even work. But he relents to an extent.
What about your book?
Can you translate it for me? Listen, my life depends on this. Please help.
Oh, sure, lady. I've got plenty of time to translate hundreds of pages of Hebrew to fulfill your crazed request for an exorcism. Sophie also gave Casey the hand of Miriam for protection and tells her to smash, burn and bury her mirrors. Casey rewatches the film reel by herself and look, there's loads of subliminal frames and creepy things now. Didn't see that one coming. Romy is driving to Casey when she crashes into Matty, who is mysteriously unharmed.
He doesn't want you to help her. If you try to help her, he'll kill you.
Fuck off, little shit.
I'm not really sure if it's wise to do that, but hey, you're the best friend. You're doomed anyway. Oh goody, a nightmare. Time for another scare as Casey confronts her mother. Jump scare! I'm glad we crowbarred that nightmare into the movie. That wasn't forced or anything. Since she no longer has the hand of Miriam and Gary Oldman has taken her expository role, it's clear that Sophie is now going to die. Why is she wandering the corridors on her own at night? Where are the night staff? Anyone? One of the patients gets possessed by the Dybbuk doing the walk from the ring while he's at it. Okay, that does look pretty freaky, but it's not exactly scary when it can be outran by a 70-year-old woman now, is it? Sophie hides in a nice dark maintenance closet. The perfect place for a jump scare! Casey is distraught to find Sophie dead, but she thoughtfully left a note behind.
It has fallen upon you to finish what began in Auschwitz.
Wow! It's a good thing that there isn't a 20-year-old on the internet to take that line horribly out of context. Did you not realise how that sounded? While Sendak is doing his impossible translation task, the lights cut out like they did in the nursing home. He goes to investigate, finding a possessed dog.
Get out of here! Go!
Well, that was easy. Romy is talking to Casey on webcam when someone knocks on the door. However, Casey sees Jumby reflected in the mirror and she and Mark race to save her. Of course, they're too late as a possessed Matty stabs her. Doesn't that kid have parents or something? He's like the Dybbuk neighbourhood watch. Oh, a nice blue costume too, Matty. I remember when it was in Don't Look Now and it was red. They're too late to save Romy and the Dybbuk moves into her body. And then doesn't do anything. Well, that was entirely pointless.
It's my fault. It killed her because of me. It's getting stronger, Mark. And I can feel it everywhere. And I think that it's strong enough to enter anyone now, even the dead.
I would have thought that entering the living would be more of a challenge, but hey, that's just me. Sendak is ready to help exorcise her.
No, I can't say I truly believe in what's afflicting you, but I think you believe. And if you're convinced an exorcism is what you need, then who am I to turn you away?
You still don't believe? You were threatened by a dog with an upside-down head. I believe that. Of course, this movie has to appeal to a wider demographic, so Sendak brings in a Christian priest named Arthur, played by Idris Elba. His role will be entirely thankless. The following day, on the Sabbath, they go to perform the exorcism in the old mental hospital where Casey's mother was when she died.
Hi, this is Rick Hess. He's an EMT. I thought it would be a good idea to have him here just in case.
And as for the other volunteers, well, they've all been through some kind of hardship and they're willing to help.
Good to see we got some possession fodder.
Once we get going,
Casey will stand in the middle of the circle. Sandak will read the original text in Hebrew, and the rest of you will follow me in English, call and response format.
Because when you confront a demon, it's best to do it in a language the audience understands.
Beginning and the end of the invocation, I'll sound the shofar, which is an animal horn used in religious ceremonies. In this case, the sound is intended to shock the spirit hiding within the victim.
Okay, I know this is part of Jewish tradition, but there's absolutely no way I can take that seriously. So they strap down Casey and get ready to begin.
Now, assuming the spirit actually manifests itself on your person, it may take the shape of a kind of bulge. It's a flesh. Now, try not to be alarmed by this. Even though we're dealing with a spiritual phenomenon, the entity still needs to be housed in some degree of physical mass.
Thanks, Gary. Could you have made the twist ending any more obvious? So Sendak toots the horn of Gondor to begin film's campiest exorcism since Richard Burton cried out, "Pazuzu!" Predictably, things start banging loudly, and the Dybbuk even summons his wind machine. They also try to make it scarier by reusing footage of jump scares we saw earlier for no real reason. Actually, come to think of it, these exorcists are a bit shit, as they only get a few lines into the thing before Jumbie appears and starts to possess them. They will never be seen again. Goodbye! Sendak gets knocked out and Arthur ends up possessed. Mark and Casey are on the run from Arthur, who looks like he's been infected with the rage virus. He also apparently gains super strength to punch through walls. Not that seems to help him much, as Mark kills him with an iron bar. I really hope the paycheck was worth it, Idris. Okay, you know this thing can pass from body to body, so what do? You sit down next to the corpse of Arthur. Oh look, now Mark is possessed, and now starts trying to kill her. I hate to sound like I'm nitpicking, but if it wants Casey to give birth to it, why is it trying to kill her? However, Sendak returns to finish the exorcism.
For he will command his angels in your behalf to guide you in all your ways, that you will lift the stone, you will tread upon the lion and the cobra.
He is reading the Hebrew in the book into English. Oh, screw continuity, let's finish this thing. The ritual is completed with Mark's body being sent flying across the room for no apparent reason. Oh right, so we can have a supposedly emotional ending where he dies. I'm so glad we had plenty of character development and... who was this guy again? The movie then moves to some time later for the obligated twist ending, as Casey discovers the sex earlier made her pregnant.
And it looks like double congratulations are in order. You're carrying twins.
Jumbie wants to be born now.
If there's one thing modern filmmakers like to do in their horror movies, it's rip off the ending to Rosemary's Baby. There is no character development in the slightest to make you want these annoying, whiny characters to survive, and the film instead dives headfirst into endless, repetitive jump scares, which grow not only frustrating, but hilariously predictable. The film relies heavily on cliches, borrowing from several other much better movies, and the use of the Holocaust as the basis of the plot is frankly shameless and poorly handled to the point of being borderline offensive. Despite being relatively unique with elements of Judaism, the film is otherwise a generic demonic possession flick that inspires more laughs than frights. I'm Matthew Buck, beating down bad movies everywhere. Pazuzu!